Okay, good morning, everyone. Nun Aleph Amud Beis. Avodah Zarah. Bottom line. Amar Mar. B'kelim shenishtamesh ben lavodos yochav makasim medaber. So it says Avei tabdunas kol hamikamos asher avdusham agoyim. We're talking about kelim that were used for Avodah Zarah. You need to go ahead and you need to get rid of them. Ha-mikomos ksiv. It says you should get rid of all the mikomos. It doesn't sound like it's kelim. When it says that you have to get rid of all the mikomos, it clearly doesn't mean you have to get rid of all of the mikomos where Avodah Zarah was served. That means if you have an idol served in New York, you have to get rid of New York. It's obviously not true. We know that it's only Elohayim ale harim. The harim themselves are not aser. Rather, what? Therefore, when it says Abei tabdunas kol mikomos, good morning, doctor. Abei tabdunas kol mikomos means you have to get rid of all of the Avodah Zarahs. And not only the Avodah Zarahs, we're learning here, it doesn't mean to get rid of the Avodah Zarahs, you have to get rid of the kelim that were used for the Avodah Zarah. Again, you have the actual idol, and then you have the Tashmish Avodah Zarah, the kelim that were used for the Avodah Zarah. So, Abei tabdunas kol mikomos, you need to get rid of the kelim. And then there was a machlokes between Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Akiva. What happens if it wasn't yet served? So there's going to be a whole discussion. So let's see what the Gemara says. Said, go back to the Bryce on Nun Aleph and Beis for a second. He says, I don't understand what's going on. The Gemara says, Abei tabdunas kol hamikamos, Nun Aleph and Beis. Asher avdusham agoyim. We're talking about the kelim. You have to get rid of the kelim that were used in the worship of Avodah Zarah. Says the Gemara, you might think you made them, you didn't use them, you used them, you didn't make them, etc. You can't, the kelim are not usher until you use them for the service. Mikan amru, that the avodas kochavim is only usher once it's worshipped. Yisrael's usher miyad, and then the way our Mishnah says is that avodas kochavim is usher miyad, and Shal Yisrael is usher ad shetiyaved. But I don't understand, you just told me it's talking about the kelim. So how can you say Mikan Amru from this pasuk which talks about the kelim, Mikan Amru that the Avodah Zarah itself is only Aser Achetiyaved or Aser Miyad? Says the Gemara, V'ha bekelim okim nala. We're talking about the kelim. Amar Kra, no. Asher atem yorshim osam es Elohehem. Makish Elohim lekelim. Right after this, it talks about the Elohim, the actual idol. So there's a hekish. Ma kelim ad sheyavodu. Just like the kelim where it says Asher avdu sham hagoyim. The kelim are not asher till they're used in the service of Avodah Zarah. Af Elohim nami ad sheyavdu. So too their gods are only going to be usher once they're worshipped. So it comes out again that according to Rabbi Yishmael, that's why Rabbi Yishmael says the avodas kochavim shall oved kochavim ein asura ad shetiyaved. Again, there's four things because there's two opinions and each one has two different parts. Each opinion is talking about avodah zarah, either of a Jew or a non-Jew. Is it usher until it's worshipped or right away? And then we're also talking about the kelim of the Avodah Zarah. So each one they're talking about the Avodah Zarah. The Avodah Zarah of a Jew, the Avodah Zarah of a non-Jew. The other opinion is the Avodah Zarah of a Jew, the Avodah Zarah of a non-Jew. Is it Aser until it's worshipped or it's Aser miyad? But over here we're talking about the kelim. So Rabbi Yishmael, who says that the Avodah Zarah of a non-Jew is Aser only once it's worshipped, he learns it from the Hekesh, that just like the kelim are only Asher avdu sham hagoyim, just like the kelim are only going to be Aser once they're used in the worship, so too the actual Avodah Zarah is only Aser once it's used in the worship. Rabbi Akiva, who says, again, we're talking about now the idols of an Avodas Kochavim. Rabbi Akiva, who says that the idols of an Avodas Kochavim are Aser miyad, how's he going to learn this pasuk? Rabbi Akiva dolo makish amar lecha es hifzik ha'inyan. When it says es Elohayim, that breaks up Elohayim from the kelim, and therefore, even though the kelim will not be usher until they're used, the actual Avodah Zarah of a non-Jew will be usher from the time that it is set aside as Avodah Zarah. That's the machlokes, Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Akiva, vis-a-vis the actual idol of a non-Jew. Whether you make the hakesh or not, to kelim would be whether or not it's going to be usher miyad or only after it's served. Good? For Rabbi Yishmael, now again, we've talked about the non-Jew's idol. Rabbi Yishmael, Ashechan avodas kochavim shalove kochavim te'en asura ad shetiyaved. It's not usher till you use it, just like the kelim are not usher till they're used based on the hekesh. But now, di Yisrael de asura miyad minole. So now the second of four. Now we're up to number 2 within opinion number 1. So now the actual idol of a Jew, why is it only asur? Why is it asur miyad even before it's worshipped? Says it svarahu because it needs to be stricter than the idol of a non-Jew. The idol of a non-Jew is not asur till it's worshipped. The Yisrael asur miyad. If you're going to say the Yisrael one, where a Jew actually made the idol, it's going to be more machmir. Therefore, by definition, that was going to be asur right away. Ema di Yisrael klalu klalo. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it means that an idol of a non-Jew is going to be asur only once it's served, but the idol of a Jew is going to be asur never. Hashta geniza by itzure lo mitzvah. No, you can't say that because we know later on that the idol of a Jew needs to be put into geniza. So clearly there's isser to get hana. Again, there's different things here, and it's important to remember to keep reminding ourselves. There's the actual isser of serving the avodah zarah. There's the isser of using the avodah zarah, and as we'll see, there's also the avodah zarah becomes tameh and is metame you and can make you impure. It means even though it's asur to serve the avodah zarah, the actual items that are used to serve it or the avodah zarah itself may not always be asur. The avodah zarah will always be asur, but again, that's what we're discussing here. Is it asur? I mean, everybody agrees it's asur to serve the avodah zarah. The question is, when does the actual avodah zarah become asur? So over here, we're saying that no, if it needs geniza, clearly we're not going to say that it's never going to be asur. So it's going to be asur. Therefore, what? Therefore, at that point, we're assuming that if it's going to be asur for sure, then if the ovei kochavim is asur only once it's served, then this will be asur even before it's served. Maybe it's exactly the same as the idol of a non-Jew, that it's only asur once it's served. Why are you telling me that it's asur miyad? Amar kra v'yeschataschem asher asisem esa egel. The chait that you did by making the egel azav, that's a avodah zarah of a Jew. Mishas asiya kimle bechait. From the asisem, you already did a chait. Says the Gemara, very nice, but Rabbi just said that you can do the chait without it being asur. Ema hani mili lemekam gavra bechait itzure lo mitzvah. Maybe you only did the chait by building the egel. Maybe yes, building the egel is a chait, but it doesn't become asur bahana until it's actually worshipped. Amar kra ara ish asher yaseh pesel masecha. Cursed is the person that makes a pesel. Again, mishas asiya kimle ba'aror. From the time that you make it, it's an aror. Ema hani mili lemekam gavra ba'aror itzure lo mitzvah. Same thing. Maybe it's an aror if you go ahead and you make it, but it's not actually asur bahana. You can't say that it's asur to use until it's worshipped. To'avas Hashem ksiv. It's an abomination. And if it's an abomination, then once it's made, even before it's worshipped, it's going to be asur. So that's how Rabbi Yishmael learns that the idol of a Jew is going to be asur miyad. The idol of a non-Jew is not asur miyad because you make the hekesh to kalim. The idol of a Jew is asur as soon as it's made because of the pasuk that says to'avas Hashem, that it's an abomination. What's Rabbi Akiva going to say now, who holds that the idol of a Jew is not asur until it's actually worshipped? For Rabbi Akiva, davar hamevi lidei to'eva. How's he going to learn that pasuk? The fact that it calls it a to'eva once it's made doesn't mean that now it's asur. It just means it's something that will ultimately lead to a to'eva, will ultimately lead to avodah zarah, but in and of itself, until it's actually worshipped, it's not going to be asur. Now, Rabbi Akiva, so now we've taken care of Rabbi Yishmael and we've answered how Rabbi Akiva answers all of those psukim. That's how we usually do it. Now we're going to move on to the first opinion of Rabbi Akiva, that the idol of a non-Jew is asur miyad. For Rabbi Akiva, avodas kochavim shelo vekochavim dasur miyad minali. We're going in glot order. Amar Ula, how do you know that? Amar Kra, Pesile Eloheim Tisrifun Ba'esh. You have to go ahead and you have to throw that's the avodah zarah of a non-Jew, you have to throw their carved avodah zarah into the Eish. Misha Paslu Nasu Eloha. You see that Pesile Eloheim, from the time that it's carved, it becomes Pesile Eloheim. From the time that it's Pesile, once it's carved into avodah zarah, Eloheim, it becomes a god, an idol. V'idach, how's Rabbi Yishmael going to learn that pasuk? Because again, he holds that it's only asur once you serve it. Hahumi Baile Lichadetani Rabbi Yosef. This is how we always have it. Well, how's he going to learn it? He's going to use that pasuk for something else. Then he's going to learn that thing. We're going to say, so how's Rabbi Akiva going to know that thing if he needs that pasuk for something else? And once he learns that thing, we say, how does he know that thing? That's how we always go until we say this guy doesn't hold to this, or this guy's a pasuk that the other guy doesn't darshan. Lichadetani Rabbi Yosef. What does he do with this pasuk of Pesile Eloheim Tisrifun Ba'esh, which Rabbi Akiva learns to tell me that as soon as he makes it, it's asur, and Rabbi Yishmael doesn't hold that. So what's he going to do with that pasuk? Detani Rabbi Yosef minayin li ovei kochavim shaposel eloho. How do you know that an ovei kochavim can actually nullify the non-kedusha, quote unquote, of his god? Shenamar psule Eloheim tisrifun ba'esh. You have to go ahead and burn the psile Eloheim, and once you burn it, they can be poselet. So psile Eloheim, he's learning from the psile Eloheim that they can actually make their Eloheim pasol, and you still have to burn it, but we see that they can make their Elohim pasul. V'idach. Where does Rabbi Akiva learn that they can be posel their Elohim because he needs to see Elohim for something else? Nafkale midishmo, the Shmo running ksiv lo tachmod kesav zav Elohim. You can't be jealous of the kesav and zav on their avodah zarah. Uchtiv, and it says v'lakachta lecha, that you could take it. Can I take it or can I not take it? Ha-ketzad, paslu leloha lo sachmod. If they went ahead and gave it to their God, and therefore made the stuff pasul by giving it to their God, then you can't take it. Paslu me eloha, if they go ahead and they make their God pasul, they nullify their God, then v'lakachta lecha. Sounds like if they make the stuff pasul to their God, i.e. that they give it over to their God, then it's officially avodah zarah, you can't use it. If they pasul their God, if they go ahead and they make their God nullified, then you can use the stuff that's on it. That's how he learns. For Rabbi Akiva, where does Rabbi Akiva, what does he do? So now, for Rabbi, it sounds like the other opinion is not going to learn anything from these two. He's not telling us what he learns from Lo Sachmon versus V'lakachta. So now we know that Rabbi Akiva, we know that he holds that the avodas kochavim, the idol of a non-Jew, becomes aser miyad because of pesile Eloheihem, tisrafun ba'esh. Rabbi Akiva, Ashchan avodas kochavim kochavim dasur miyad Yisrael at shetiavim minalan. So now the last thing that's left, how does he know that Yisrael's idol is not going to be aser until it's worshipped? Amavid amar krav v'sam basaser. You have to put it into the saser at sheyaseh la dvarim shebeseser. Pashup shot is that you have to put it into the geniza. The drasha is that it's not going to be aser until you do hidden things with it. What's a hidden thing? Something you're embarrassed to do in public, i.e. serve it as avodah zarah. V'idach, and what's Rabbi Yishmael going to say, who says that it's aser even before you serve it? He just learns, not that it's aser only once it's served, it's aser biyad. This pasuk teaches me something else. V'sam bas aser, teaches me that it has to be put into geniza, the idol of a Jew. Shnamar v'sam bas aser v'idach. How is Rabbi Akiva going to know that you have to put the idol of a Jew into geniza? Nafkalei midrav chisnam arav, namar chisnam arav, minay lavot cham sheisol shetuna geniza. Shnamar, because it says lo titolacha shera koleit eitzel mizbach. You can't plant an avodah zarah next to the mizbeach. Ma mizbeach to on geniza, just like the mizbeach when it's no longer usable needs to be put into shemis. Af ashera to una geniza. So too the ashera of a Jew, he's learning, needs to be put into shemis. Ve'idach. How does the other opinion going to know, if he already knows that geniza from another pasuk, what's he going to do with this pasuk of lo titalacha ashera? He's going to learn it as a drasha. If you appoint a judge that's not fit to be a judge, it's as if you plant an avodah zarah in the Jewish people. If you don't put a good shofet or shoret, then it's as if it's an asherah. Amar Ravashi, he adds, it's bad enough to put a shofet v'shoret that's not hagun. And that's if you have nobody else. If you have somebody else, not only is it like placing avodah zarah in the Jewish people, it's like placing avodah zarah right next to the mizbeach. Because now not only are you putting a shofet who's not good, an avodah zarah, i.e., you're placing it next to a talmid chacham who is able to be appointed, and that would be eitzel mizbeach. It's even worse. So now he makes that drasha. The other one would make that drasha, and everybody has the four things that they need. It's a drasha. Oh, you're talking about the actual pashup shot.
Yeah.
You can't plant an asherah anywhere near, yeah. Or you can't plant an asherah anywhere. But kavachoma, you can't plant an asherah near any mizbeach. New topic. Hold on tight. Boi Rav Hamnuna. We're ready for some Tum and Tara. Boi Rav Hamnuna. Yeah, how do you think I feel? Nritcha kli lavodas kochavim mahu. If you repair a kli for avodas kochavim, what's the din? Well, what's the question? What do you mean you're repairing a kli for avodas kochavim? Sounds like it was pasul, it was served for avodah zarah, you broke it, and now you repair it. What's the question? Avodas kochavim demand. What kind of avodas kochavim are you talking about? Elim avodas kochavim de'ovei kochavim. If you're talking about it was used to serve the idolatry of a non-Jew. Bein l'Rebbe Yishmael, bein l'Rebbe Akiva, misham she'avodas kochavim hein, u'misham she'avodas kochavim ein asur not she'avodu. Even though they went ahead and argued about the idol itself, we said that both of them agree, Abeit Abdunas Kol HaMekamos, which is talking about Kalum, it's only Asher Avdusham Agayim, only once it's been used for worship. So we're talking about kalim, the kalim that were going to be used, that were set aside for avodah zarah. The kalim are only aser once they've been used for avodas kochavim. So if you repair something to be used in the future for avodas kochavim, is not going to be a problem. So what's the question? We're talking about using it for an idol of a Jew. Aliba Daman. What are we talking about? Elima Aliba de Rabbi Akiva. Well, now let's go back to our brisa. What did Rabbi Akiva say? He said that an idol of a Jew is only usher once you worship it. So you can't say that if the idol itself is only usher once you worship it, that the kalim that are going to be used are going to be usher once you make them. Hashta hi gufalo mitzrat shetiaved misham shami bai. What's the question? Obviously, the object, the accessory, is not going to be usher till you worship it. Ela liba de Rabbi Shmuel de Omar Surah Miyad. Rabbi Shmuel says that the idol of a Jew is usher as soon as you make it. Now the question is the accessory that's going to be used in the worship of that idol, is that usher as soon as you make it, or is it only usher once you use it, similar to the kalim of something that's going to be used for an idol of a non-Jew? Mai mishamshin mi mishamshin gamrinan. Do you learn from the accessories of a non-Jewish idol? Ma hasam achi avodu avacha achi avodu. Just like Elohim is only what asher avdu shamagayim. Just like the accessories for a non-Jewish idol from the pasuk is only once you use it to worship. So too, the accessories for a Jewish idol that are intended to be used for a Jewish idol will only be usher once you use it to worship. O dilma minagamar. You should learn it from itself. That what? Mahi asura miyad af misham shasur miyad. Just like the idol itself of a Jew is asur before you even serve it, so to the accessories that will be used for the idol of a Jew are also asur before you actually use it. Says the Gemara, if that's true and you're asking about the accessories, why are you talking about fixing a kli? My area dekami bayale ritach kli ti bayale asay. Why are you talking about fixing a kli? You should talk about a regular case. You're making a kli to be used for avodah zarah of a Jew, and that's the question. What does that have to do with fixing it? There must be something about fixing it that you're missing. Therefore, like it does all many times, it throws out these 6 lines and says, no, that wasn't his question. Rav Hamnuna mishum tuma yishana kami bayale. Rav Hamnuna was asking about tuma yishana. What's this idea? Rashi points out that when you have something that's tameh, and then you break it, and now you put it back together, the question is, does it lose its tumah when it was broken? We know in general when you break a kli, so it loses its tumah when you break it. That's a given. You have everything where Matech will see. You break the kli, it loses its tumah. But that's assuming that you don't put it back together. If you put it back together, does it automatically, with crazy glue, does it automatically re-inherit the tumah that it had before you broke it? That's tumah yishana. Old tumah. What? Tumah glue, yes. Tumah chozeret. That's the question. And that's this question. If you fix, now what's the question for avodas kochavim? We're just going to give a little bit of a background for 10 seconds. What's the tumah of an avodas kochavim? If something touches a dead person, then it becomes tamei on a deoraisa level of avatuma. If something is used for avodas kochavim, we said, first of all, it's asur to use it for avodas kochavim. We said it's asur bahana, but the fact that something that's used for idolatry is going to be tamei and be mitame things, that's only a rabbinic rule to keep you away from idolatry. So the question becomes now, if you fix something, even if you're going to say that when you fix it, and it had been tamei on a deoraisa level, when you fix it so then the tumah returns, maybe when you're dealing with a tumah dirabanan, a rabbinic tumah, which is the tumah of avodas kochavim, or as Rashi points out, the fact that something becomes tamei from mashkin, from wetness, from pouring something on it, those types of tumahs, maybe even if on a deoraisa level, when you put it back together, it will re-inherit its original tumah, maybe the rabbinic tumahs, when you put them back together, they will not re-inherit their tumas. Ditnan, kli matachos, pishutein, umikablein tmein. What's a pishutein? Those are 2 different types of vessels. Pishutein is like pasha, like a simple vessel. That's one that's flat, doesn't have a base kibul. Mikablein is like a bowl, something that has right, the flat thing. I'll do it after we get finished this. Tamein, those become tamei. Nishtabru taharu. When you break them, they become tahor. Chazav yasan kelim yachseru letuma yishana. When they go ahead and you make them into a kli, then they get back their tumah. V'hachi kamibayale ki hadra tumah hani mili letuma deraisa v'tumah derabanan lo. So what's Rav Hamnuna's question? Rav Hamnuna's question is, I understand that when you're dealing with a tumah deraisa, you re-put the stuff back together, it reacquires its tumah. O dilma loshna. So is that true by a tumah derabanan also? I.e., his question. What was his question? Ritrach kli lavodas chachavim mahu. You're putting back a kli not for avodas kochavim that had been used in the past for avodas kochavim. Mahu, does it reacquire its tumah dirabanan of avodas kochavim, just like it reacquires its tumah deraisa, or lo, or it's different and it doesn't acquire it. V'tibayale sha'ar tumas dirabanan. So Gemara says it's nice. The only problem is that if that's true, why are you asking me specifically about tumah of avodas kochavim? You should have said that if you put back a kli that had any type of tumah dirabanan, is it going to reacquire or not? Why do you ask specifically about avodas kochavim? Says the Gemara, no, chada migo, chada kamibayale. You're right, but it's asking a question that's already taking it to the next level. What do you mean? Tumah dirabanan mihadra lo hadra. Yes. Based on this question, you can assume the basis of this question is, does a tumah derabanan return or not? But he's not asking that question because he's already jumping to the next question, assuming that he knows the answer to that question. Im tim selomar lo hadra. If you say it's exactly like tumah deraisa and it reacquires its tumah, beautiful. My question is that even if you say that derabanan tumah is different and doesn't reacquire its tumah when it's put back together, tumah de avodas kochavim mishum chumra de avodas kochavim. That's his question. Is that even if you're going to argue that a tumah derabanan will not be reacquired when you put back the item, the reason he's asking it specific to avodas kochavim is because he's asking, even if you hold that, maybe you would still say that by tumah of an avodas kochavim, which is only derabanan, but would be quote unquote the most machmir of the derabanans, because avodas kochavim is the most serious of the tumahs that Rabbanan said. Maybe even if every other tumah derabanan will not be reacquired by the vessel when you put it back together, maybe the tumah of the dirabanan of avodas kochavim will go back into the vessel once you rebuild it. Says the Gemara, that was his question, and the answer to his question is teku. I don't know. And therefore, at the end of the day, but that was his question. His question was, if you have a kli that was tamei on a dirabanan level, where we know that a kli that was tamei on a deoraisa level that's broken, and you put it back together, it re-inherits its tumah deoraisa. The question is that when it comes to a tumah dirabanan, and specifically a tumah of avodas kochavim, when you go ahead and you put it back together, does it acquire or reacquire its tumah dirabanan? And even if you say that a regular tumah dirabanan is not reacquired by a tumah avodas kochavim, maybe it'll be reacquired. Says the Gemara, Tishbi Yitaret Kushios Ubaayos.
We don't know what level is it transferable. They don't know.
In terms of what?
Like the tumah of
the tumah would be a tumah derabanan. It would be like any other tumah derabanan. While it's tamei, it's going to transfer however a tumah derabanan transfers. The question is, if you break it and you put it back, will it re-inherit its tamei?
There's no level. They don't give it.
I'm not sure. That means we said that by regular stuff that was used for an avodah zarah, so we know that you can be mevatel an avodah zarah once you nullify the avodah zarah, so now you can use it, and you can nullify regular stuff like a makal, like a rod that was used for avodah zarah. The question is, if I use food for avodah zarah, I take food and I throw it at the avodah zarah, so I'm serving it with the food. Can I ever be mevatel the food and say now I can eat it because it's no longer being used for avodah zarah? How's that possible?
You've already done it.
You've already done it, but you've already used the makal to serve the avodah zarah. But now we're saying, I want to be mevatel, I want to nullify it, and going forward, it's no longer avodah zarah. I mean, you've also served the avodah zarah, and yet we know you can nullify it even though it's been served before. What's the kasha by the food? Why should food be any different than anything else? Says the Gemara, mi mahanyalahu bitul lim tarinu mitum arlo. Can you do bittul? Why not? V'tibayile kalim. What's the difference between that and kalim? No, kalim lo kami bayile kevan de islu tara b'mikva tumanami badla. Again, we're talking about another level of tumah. We're not talking about whether it's mutter or usr to be used. That was already a discussion whether you can use it or not after you've already done the bittul. But maybe even after you can use it, even if you say you can use it, maybe the tumah doesn't go away. Says the Gemara, the fact that regular kalim can be brought into a mikveh in general, therefore the bittul of the avodah zarah will also get rid of the tumah. But ocha, which cannot be brought to a mikveh in general, because you're going to ruin it, ki kamibayile ochlin. Says Gemara, v'tibayile avodas kochavim guf. If you're asking me about ochlin that was used to serve avodah zarah, you want to know whether you can nullify it, or when you nullify it, you can nullify it, and you can use it, but when you nullify it and now can use it, does the tumah go away or not? Why are you asking me about the stuff that you throw at the avodah zarah? Why don't you ask me about actual food that was worshipped as avodah zarah? You took a piece of loaf of bread, you worshipped it as avodah zarah, you want to be mevatel it, so you batel it, now you can use it, but maybe the tumah doesn't go away. Why are you asking me specifically about stuff that was used as an accessory to avodah zarah? Avodas kochavim gufa lo mibayile kevan Kevan di Surah Batil Tumanami Badla. By the actual food, we're going to say there's nothing to talk about. If you worship a loaf of bread, just like we know you can actually be mevatel, the isser, and you can go ahead and use it now, so for sure the tumah is going to go away as well. Kevan di isure lo batel kiderav gidol, tumanami lo batla, o dilma isur daraisa lo batel, tumah derabanan batel teku. He's saying within Reb Gidol, who says that actual accessories used for avodah zarah are more machmir than the idol itself. The idol itself can go ahead and the idol can be made into bittul. And once you make the idol into bittul, even by food, by definition, the tumah falls off. But if you say that the accessories used for avodah zarah can never be used again, they're bittul, you can't unbittul them. The question is, even if you can't unbittul them, can you go ahead and get rid of the tumah that's on them? Even though you can't use them, will they forever give tumah? So it sounds like regular kalim, which you can go ahead and you can't unbittul according to Reb Zera, according to Reb Gidol, since they could be put into a mikvah, the tumah will still fall off once you're batel them, even though you can't use them. But ochel, which can't be put in a mikvah, are we going to say that the tumah falls off once you're batel it, even though you can't use it? Will the tumah fall off? Teku, we don't know the answer to that question. Boi mine Rabbi Yossi ben Shalom Rabbi. Kelim shen shimshu ben bebeis chonyo. It's an interesting question. Beis Chonyo was the son, Rashi says, of Shimon HaTzadik. And he ran away to Mitzrayim and he built a temple. Now there's a machlokes if the temple that he built was L'Shem Shamayim. It was still usher to bring korbanos there because it was a bama. It was outside of the Beis HaMikdash. But was it L'Shem Shamayim or was it served for Avodah Zarah? We're actually going to assume that he built it L'Shem Shamayim. He built it as a shul. But they brought korbanos and stuff there, which they shouldn't have brought outside of the Beis HaMikdash. So Kalim Sheshinshim Bebeis Chonyo, what about Kalim that were used there in his house of worship? Can they then go ahead and use them in the Beis HaMikdash? And the question is only if you assume that his house was a house of worship to God. If it was a house of worship to Avodah Zarah, for sure you can't use the kalim in the Beis HaMikdash. But let's assume that he just had kalim that were used in the service of God, but they were used illegally outside of the Beis HaMikdash. Can you then come and take those kalim and use them in the Beis HaMikdash? Ditnan, kohanim sheshimshu bebeis chonyo, lo yishamshu b'mikdash shebirushalayim, ve'ino tzarech lomar l'davar acher. So we see over here that the Kohanim themselves, if you have actual priests who go ahead and serve in the Beis Chonyo, they were not allowed to then go ahead and serve in the Mikdash. What's that? For priest. That's for somebody who went for Avodah Zarah. And for sure, if they served not in the Beis Chonyo, which was to Hashem, but they served what? They served Avodah Zarah, for sure they can't go ahead into the Mikdash and serve in the Mikdash. The question is it the same thing by the Kalim itself? That means the Kohanim are illegal. Once they serve in Beis Chonyo, even if it was to God, it was outside the Mikdash, they weren't allowed to do that, they can no longer work in the Mikdash. The question is though, what about the Kalim that were used in Beis Chonyo? Maybe the Kalim themselves now can be used in the Mikdash. Says the Gemara, what's the base of the question? Kohanim hu dekansinhu, Rabbana mishum debnei deyaninhu. Maybe the rabbis punished the Kohanim who knew what they were doing and they should have known better and therefore they can no longer serve in the Mikdash. Aval Kalim lo, but maybe the Kalim which obviously are not making decisions and they were just used in the Beis Chonyo, and again, it wasn't quote unquote, it was illegal, they shouldn't have used it, but they didn't serve Avodah Zarah with it. Or Dilma Loshna, or maybe no, once they're used outside of the Beis HaMikdash, they can no longer be used inside of the Beis HaMikdash. That was his question.
They don't discuss tshuva for the Kohanim.
Again, right, so that's a whole discussion. Can the Kohanim do tshuva or not? But for sure the Kalim can't do tshuva. So it says the Gemara, Amalei Asurim Hein, Umikra Haya Bi'adenu V'Shachnu. They're asur, and once they were used outside of the Beis HaMikdash, so then you're not allowed to go ahead and use it. And I had a pasuk to support me, and I forgot it. That means kalim, and this is important to know, kalim is going to be, if kalim were used for Avodah Zarah, then they're asur to be used in the Mishkan or on the Mikdash on a D'oraisa level. Here are kalim that were used not for Avodah Zarah, but they were used for God's worship, but outside of the Beis HaMikdash, the D'Rabbanan level will say you're not allowed to use them now in the Mishkan. Eisvei, so they asked the kasher, Kol ha'kelim asher hizniach hamelech achaz b'malchuso b'malo heichanu v'hikdishnu. Melech Achaz used kalim for Avodah Zarah, And yet we see over here that they were hechnu v'ikdishnu. My love hichnu dat belinu hekdishnu da'akdishinu. We see clearly that what? They were tovel them and they were makdish them, which seems to imply that kalim that were used for illegal purposes can then be used in the mikdash. Rashi points out that I don't have a right to ruin somebody else's stuff. If I serve, right? I never thought about this before. If I serve your talis bag for avodah zarah, so I don't have a right to make that usher to you. It's only usher to you if you serve it yourself. But that's why you can compare this case to Achaz. Again, we're asking a question on a derabanan. The question is, did the derabanan make the kalim that were used outside of the Beis HaMikdash usher to use in the Beis HaMikdash as well? So Achaz over here, we're not dealing with a deraisa level, because at the end of the day he worshipped it for avodah zarah. So on a deraisa level they can be used, because the fact that he used it for avodah zarah is not our problem. The question is, on a derabanan level, they seem to have said that it was asur to use once somebody worshipped it on a derabanan level. So now the question is, it's the equivalent of our case. Something that was used in another place, so is it going to be asur or not on a derabanan level? It's asur derabanan. Is it going to be asur to use in the mikdash or not? So too, this stuff which is quote unquote wasn't used for avodah, it was used for avodah zarah, but it's not going to be asur deraisa. The equivalent is can then be used in the mikdash as well. So we see that in those cases, based on the pasuk, it seems like stuff that was worshipped by Achaz can be used then in the mikdash. Therefore, stuff that was used in Beis Chanyo, which would be on the equivalent level, it was used for God, but it was used outside the mikdash. Seemingly, it would mean that you can also, though, go ahead and use those in the mikdash also. Says the Gemara, Amar le Baruch atah l'shamayim shechazarta li avedasi. Thank you for reminding me of the pasuk. You're just learning the pasuk wrong. When I said asur because the pasuk says heichanu sheganzum v'ikdashnu sheikdashnu acherim tachteim. You're reading the pasuk wrong. When it says that they used the kalim from Achaz, it doesn't mean that they tovel them and then use them. It means that they put them into Geniza and they were makdish other ones. Because you dafka can't use stuff that was used by Achaz. Therefore, you can't use kalim that were used in Beis Chanyo. And that's why he said the stuff that was used in Beis Chanyo would be asur to use. Lema misayele. We seem to have a support to this idea that once it's been used for avodah zarah, it's been used outside of the mikdash, it can no longer be used on a derabanan level in the mikdash. Where do we see a proof for this? Mizrachis fonis baganzu beis chashmonayis avnei hamizbeach sheshaksu anshe yavan. Again, anshe yavan came and they worshipped the mizbeach, or they ruined the mizbeach. They defiled the mizbeach. And what do we see over here? That's really a derabanan at this point defamation, because again, they don't have a right to serve the mizbeach as avodah zarah. So that would be the equivalent of these three cases of Achaz, and that would be the equivalent of using it outside of the mikdash. And yet, what do we see over here? We see that when the Chashmonayim came, they actually buried it. According to you, if it was mutter to use the kalim that were used outside of the Beis HaMikdash or for avodah zarah, then you should be able to go ahead and use the mizbeach when they come and they come to the temple. Says the Gemara, "Ve'amar Rav Sheshes sheshaksu la'avodas kochavim." It was used for avodas kochavim. So therefore, you see that lemaisa lema misayei that once it was used for avodas kochavim, even though again he can't answer it to you on a derabanan level, you're not going to be able to use it anymore in the mikdash. So to lema misayei for everything that we've been saying. Amar Rav Papa. You might be right, but you can't use a proof from the Chashmonayim. Why? Hasam kra ashkach v'darish chsivba ubau ba pritzim v'chalalu. As Rashi explains, over there it was different. It wasn't just that they worshipped it for avodah zarah. The stuff was made into hefker, and it became the property of the Yavanim. When I worship your stuff to avodah zarah, I don't have a right to worship your stuff. And yet Rabbanan came along and said, if I worship to avodah zarah, maybe it can't be used in the Beis HaMikdash. But the Yavanim themselves came and they used the actual things. They actually took the mizbeach and they possessed it for themselves. It was made hefker, basically, quote unquote, by the Jews. When they possessed it for themselves, that's why when the Jews came, they couldn't use it. But you don't have a proof that if the Jews came and had something that was never taken by the non-Jews, it was just worshipped, maybe that kalim could be used in the mizbeach, could be used in the mikdash. Now, parenthetically, derech agav,
they can learn this Gemara and ruin everything, right? But can come into the Beis HaMikdash and worship the whole Beis HaMikdash technically.
Again, so we're saying that if they worship it, it's not going to be asur. It's the fact that in that case, the pasuk says that in that specific case of the Chashmonayim, they were able to actually go ahead and acquire the stuff. Here, Mikevan shenechnas ovei kocham leheichal yatsu, the first wide line in Rashi, yatsu kelav lechulin v'kevan denafki lechulin kaninu be'efker v'avalu diduch shesham el avodas chav nesu. Right. So according to what you're saying is that if they would know this Gemara, they would come in and they would make everything in the avoda, everything in the Beis Hamikdash into chulin. It can no longer ever be used.
I thought that's what they do.
It can no longer ever be used. So did they reuse this stuff afterwards? I don't know. It's a good question. I know the Mizbeach, it sounds like that they couldn't reuse the Mizbeach. I don't know what happened with all the other Kalim afterwards.
How did it become hefker?
He's saying, Mikevan shenichnasu ovei kocham leheichal, yatsu kelav lechulin, v'kevan denafki lechulin kaninu behefker. It sounds like once these things that are hektish become chulin, when they come into the Beis Hamikdash, by definition they become hefker. I don't know the exact mitzias how that works. I don't know. It's in, she doesn't say anything about yesh, but I'd be curious to find out that. Well, what about all the other kalim that were at the time of the Yavanim? Did they actually get rid of those, or did they build new ones? Did they make a new menorah, or they use the same?
Everything.
What? Oh, right.
All the stuff.
Right. Interesting. But just derech agav, the question is now, so what should they do with that mizbeach? They have this mizbeach that they can use, so what are they going to do with it? They're going to bury it. Says the Gemara, Amri Hechi Navit. So now they're there and they didn't know what to do with the Mizbeach. Nisbarinhu Avanim Shlemos Amrachmana. So again, it sounds like for the other Kalim, Rabbi, you can go ahead and you can break them. If you break them, so now you get rid of it. That's what the Gemara, that's seemingly, if in fact they used the menorah, it sounds like they would have to have broken it to an extent, and then melt it down and then put it back together, or at least melt down part of it and then put it back together. The problem with the Mizbeach is that they couldn't break the Mizbeach. Why not? Because if you break it, that means you break the Mizbeach into pieces, what happens? The Pasuk says that for a Mizbeach you need Avanim Shlemos. You need full, unadulterated Avanim. So why don't you break them and then non-serinhu? You should go ahead and then you could chisel them out. You break them and then you go ahead, what? Avanim, the actual stones of the Mizbeach, you go ahead and you break them. So now when you break them, you can no longer use them for the Mizbeach because they're broken. So why don't we break them? You get rid of the tumah, quote unquote, when you break them. And now you need full stones, so now chisel them out. You can fix each stone individually, make them into a full stone again. You can take a small stone, big stone can be made into two small stones. You just have to make it nice, and then you can use it as the mizbeach. Says Gemara, lo tanif aleim barzel ar marachmana. We know you're not allowed to use any barzel when it comes to the mizbeach. Says the Gemara, v'amai. So at the very least, let them take it home and use it in their house to rebuild their houses. There was a time when all of the stuff in the world, they wanted to get rid of all of the kesef and the zav in the world because the hekdesh, money from Yerushalayim, was all over the place and they lost track of where it was, and therefore they assumed that any coin in the world can be hekdesh, and they wanted to put everything into Geniza. They said Yerushalayim have Yeruba de Alma. Yerushalayim is not the rove of the world. Why are you going to, the hekdesh coin should be batel in the rest of the money, and that's why they didn't actually make you put everything into Geniza. Elar Marabaye, so rather that's not what it means. What does it mean? They didn't want to put all the coins in the world into Geniza. Bikshu lignos dinara hadraino turina shifa, mipnei tava shal Yerushalayim achamatsu la mikro minatora sheumutar uba bar pritzim v'chalalu. Originally they wanted to be gones, these specific dinarim, these specific coins of these rulers, till they found this pasuk and says you don't have to go ahead and you don't have to get rid of these coins. So to over there, you see that the coins of the non-Jewish rulers, you're allowed to go ahead and use and keep them in circulation. So at the very least, why can't we go, if we can't use it for the Mizbeach again, why can't we go ahead and keep these stones in circulation, i.e. bring them to our houses and make usage of it? Chaval to have to throw all the leftover food in the garbage. Chaval to have to throw the leftover Mizbeach in the garbage. Says the Gemara, Hasam, by the coins, lo ishtamshu b'hu legavoa. Hachakevan dishtamish b'hu legavoa, lav orach ara lishtamushe b'hu hedyota. Those coins were not used for gavoa. Those coins were just used. So if you go ahead and you take those coins can be used for your own personal stuff. But over here, stuff that was used for the Mizbeach, you're right. On a biblical level, you break it, and you can't use it for the Mizbeach. On a biblical level, you could take it home and use it in your house. You can't use it for the Mizbeach, you can't chisel it and use it for the Mizbeach, but you could take it home. But on a hashkafic level, it's not proper to go ahead and use things that were used for the Mizbeach to then go ahead and fix up your house. Let's just read a little bit of the Mishnah. We're not going to go to the next stuff, so let's just take 2 more minutes. A non-Jew can be mevatel his idol and his friend's idol, and Yisrael can't be mevatel his friend's idol, and he can't be mevatel his avodas kochavim's idol either. So Yisrael cannot be mevatel anything. And a non-Jew can be mevatel his idol and the idol of his friend, but not the idol of a Jew. The idol of a Jew can never be mevatel, it sounds like. has to be buried, but the non-Jew can bury his idol, can be mevatel his idol and his friend's idol. Ha-mevatel avodas kachavim mevatel mishamsheh. When you eventually go ahead and you do be mevatel an idol, all of the accessories that were used for that idol by definition nullified as well. Bitel mishamsheh, but if you nullify the accessories, mishamsheh mutarin v'hi asura, then only the accessories are going to be usable, but the actual idol itself does not become mutter when you mevatel the accessories. Masni le Rav le Rav Sheshes brei. Ove kachavim mevatel v'scham shelo shel chavero. Amale Rebbe shanisa lanu b'yaldusacha. You taught us something else when you were younger. Ove kachavim mevatel v'scham shelo v'shel Yisrael. Over here you're telling me that a non-Jew can be mevatel his avodah zarah and his friend, the non-Jew avodah zarah. But earlier, 5 years ago in Shir, I remember that you told us not only can he mevatel his own avodah zarah and his friend's avodah zarah, he could even be mevatel the avodah zarah of a Jew. The Yisrael mikam abala, is it true that he can be mevatel the Yisrael's avodah zarah vaha v'sam b'seiser ksiv? We know that we learned on the last daf that the avodah zarah of a Jew needs to be put into geniza. What did he say 5 years ago? He said that if there's an idol that's jointly owned, you're a good Jew, you don't want to own an idol just by yourself, so you find a partner. So a Jew who jointly owns an idol, just like a non-Jew can be mevatel the idol of another non-Jew, he can be mevatel the idol of a non-Jew who's in partnership with a Jew. That was what he said originally. When he got older, he said that a non-Jew can only be mevatel the idol of a non-Jew, and he can't be mevatel the idol of a non-Jew that's in partnership with a Jew. B'yaldusa ma'ikesaver v'zaknusa ma'ikesaver. What changed? B'yaldusa saver Yisrael adaita dovekachavim palach keva dovekachavim vatel denavshe Yisrael nami mevala. When he was young, he thought that what? He thought that a Jew goes after the non-Jew. I'm going in partnership with the thing. I'm going to go whatever he says. He says it's now time to worship it. I'll worship it. He says that it's time to be mevatel, I'll be mevatel it. That's why he said, since the Jew is going at the mercy of the non-Jew, he went into a partnership with the non-Jew for the idol. Whatever the non-Jew says, if the non-Jew is mevatel it, the Jew says, I'm mevatel it too. If the non-Jew is mevatel his and his partners, then the Jew is mevatel as well. It sounds like you can be mevatel the Jew's piece of property. Uvizaknusa savar Yisrael adaita denafshi palach ki mevatel ovekachavim denafshi di Yisrael lo batel. That sounds like what? That when he got older, he said, no, the Jew doesn't follow the non-Jew, and even if he's in partnership with him, if the non-Jew is mevatel his half, the Jew doesn't necessarily want to be mevatel his half, and therefore he said that a non-Jew can be mevatel the idol of another non-Jew or of his own self, but he cannot be mevatel the idol of a joint shutfas, Jew and non-Jew, that own it together, because we don't assume that the Jewish part wants to be mevatel it. But what's interesting about this is that it sounds like at this point of the Gemara that it is suggesting that theoretically, if the Jew wanted to be mevatel his idol, he would in fact be able to do so. We'll pick up here tomorrow.